Welcome back, everyone. We have an exciting episode for you guys here today on our channel. Cody and I have been talking about adding a drip irrigation system into the garden for a while now. We actually drew up plans earlier this season to put one in and just haven't got around to it. Recently, a company named RainPoint reached out to us about reviewing and adding their smart two-zone watering timer into the garden. So before we get started out here in the garden today, let's unbox and take a look at their product. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and unbox the smart two-zone Wi-Fi water timer that was sent to us by RainPoint. They were nice enough to send it for us to review and incorporate in our new drip irrigation system out in the garden. First off, it came in this nice sturdy box, absolutely no damage, arrived in about 2 days. You can get this product on Amazon. They label this as their best budget gardening watering system. So let's go ahead and do the unboxing. Alright, so the first couple things are in the box. It looks like you got your warranty cards. It's a 5-year warranty, and I think they said a 100-day return policy. We have our control screen. Cody can talk a little bit about that.
So this is going to be set up in the kitchen. It's going to be able to give us the temp outside as well as the water flow, different specs and logistics that we need for the garden. It was bubble wrapped, which is nice, so we don't have to worry about any scratching, breakage, anything like that.
Alright, what else we got in here? This is going to be our control system for out in the garden. This will hook up to our spigot. It'll control the left and the right side of the watering zones. The left side for us is going to go out to the raised beds into the new drip irrigation system, and the right side is going to be our perennial area that's also going to have a drip hose hooked up to it. Also in good shape. And then what else is in the box? It looks like we have our power cord for the controller. And looks like we got a couple things of thread tape here in the box. So that would be all for the unboxing. Everything looks really good, so we're going to get everything else hooked up in the garden, and then we'll give you a little more closer detailed look at how all this works once everything in the garden is ready to go. Before we get started, I just kind of wanted to run through what the plan is. This is the southwest side of the house. On the west side here, we have this garden spigot. This is where the RainPoint system is going to hook up. This is almost straight in line with the main aisle in the garden bed. It's about 57 feet from the spigot to the end of the garden bed. We have a long day of digging ahead of us, so let's get started. Alright guys, so we're all done with the trenching. We have trenches that go, one that goes all the way down center of the garden, and then one that goes to each bed, this way and this way. And then I have a little hole that I'm going to put the pipe down that's going to connect, so it's going to come up in the inside of the bed so it doesn't, so you don't see it on the outside. So now that we're all done with the trench, we are going to get started on the piping. To give everyone a little closer look at what we did here, you could see that right here the main branch goes down the center of the beds, and then we have ones that branch off into each bed. And then when it comes up into the bed, it comes into this little fitting where I have a 3/4 garden connection, and then that goes into a little converter that goes down to the 1/4-inch drip hose. So one of the things we really wanted to incorporate into this drip system was a spigot somewhere out here in the garden where we had a easier way to fill up our water pails to water things like the seedlings in the greenhouse in the spring and all the plants that we keep in grow bags throughout the year. So what I did is on this last bed where the drip irrigation line comes up to the bed, I just put a T and continued a PVC pipe up and attach a spigot to it. I'm going to secure this piping to the trellis pole. And then I've already tested this out. The water's off currently, but when the water's on, the water flows out of the spigot just like it would up at the house. So this is just going to make it a lot easier to keep everything consistently watered during the season out here in the garden. Alright, so all the piping is now complete. We just did a little test run to see if everything worked good. It seems like it did. At first we thought we were going to need to have a pump to push the water down towards the end, but once we got all the drip hoses hooked up and into the beds, when you turn it on with just the regular faucet water, it is working just fine. So we're going to give you a little closer look and see what it looks like when the whole system's charged, and then we're going to get all the PVC glued, and then we'll get the timer hooked up. All right, so now that everything out in the yard is all hooked up and ready to go, it's time to get our RainPoint Two-Zone watering system hooked up to our network and power it on. So I have everything we need right here. I have the display hub screen. I have our receiver, which goes out into the yard and hooks to the spigot. It will control zone 1 and 2 out in the yard. I have my smartphone right here. I already downloaded the app. It's the HomeGar app. You can use the quick start guide instructions that come in the box. This has step-by-step directions of how we're going to get everything set up. There are a QR code for both iOS and Android system to pull up the HomeGar app. Once we have the HomeGar app pull up on our phone, we need power to display. So we're going to slide off this back cover, and then in the back here we have a spot for our power unit that's going to be plugged into the wall. And also a spot for 3 AA batteries. These are for battery backup. It does say in the instructions to not use these for the primary power source. So we're going to go ahead and power the unit up. We will add the batteries after we're done setting everything up. So we're going to plug the wall unit in, slide this back cover on, which comes on and off very easily. Now we have power to the device. So now that we have power to the device, what we're going to do is we are going to hit the plus button to add a device. We're going to hit display hub. Now that the display hub is pulled up, our Wi-Fi is showing up, so I need to type in the password for the Wi-Fi to connect. Now that we're connected to the Wi-Fi, we need to press and hold the Wi-Fi button on the display hub for 5 seconds to bring the scan. All right, now the device is in scan mode. Once we're in scan mode, we hit the all steps completed button and hit next. Now a countdown has begun and it should start finding our device. All right, the device has now been found, so we'll hit the add button, and here we can change the generic name to a name that we would like. I'm going to name this device Display Hub. So we will get the name put in here, and then once the name's put in, we hit save, and now we are connected to the app. Okay, so now that we have the Display Hub hooked up to our app, the next thing we have to do is connect our sub device. So what we need to do is click on the Display Hub in our app. We're going to go to Sub Devices and hit Add Device. And we're going to click on the Two-Zone Water Timer. Now that we've clicked on that, we need to put the batteries inside the sub device. On the back here, it has this nice waterproof seal around the cover. We need 4 AA batteries into the device to power it up. So let's go ahead and get these in here. And then replace the watertight sealed cover. Make sure that's in there really good so we get no water in there. All right, we need to hold down the left button until it blinks. Hit next. And we are connected. Now that we're connected, we're going to go ahead and name this device Drip Irrigation. So let's erase the generic name that it gave the device and put in Drip Irrigation. Hit confirm. We're going to save it. Go back to the main screen. And now we have our display hub labeled and we have our drip irrigation labeled, and it has zone 1 and zone 2 right here. So now that we have both the display hub and the sub device hooked up, let's get this out in the yard and try it out. Alright guys, so I have our 2-zone timer here. I have the connection that's going out into the drip irrigation system. I got the plumber's thread on there. We're going to hook it up to the spigot right here. Make sure it's on there nice and tight. We're going to hook it to the pipe that comes in from the ground. Alright, now that that's all in there, let's get our other drip irrigation hose that's going to go to the rest of the perennial bed hooked up. So I have some plumber's tape on here as well. Make sure this is on there nice and tight, and then I have the drip irrigation hose right here that's going to go to the perennial bed. That's going to be on zone 2. So we'll get this on nice and tight. Alright, now that we have that on there, I'm going to get this drip irrigation hose all laid out, and then we'll come back and test the unit. Alright, so everything is now all hooked up. We have our 2-zone timer right here that is connected to the spigot. On the left side, you see the PVC pipe. The zone 1 is going to carry the water out to the drip irrigation system in the beds. Zone 2 is hooked up to our drip irrigation hose, which is all in this perennial area that we've been working on this year. And we're going to put some mulch down here this fall that cover the hose and all the dirt in the perennial area. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to pull up zone 1 on our app. So on our app we have zone 1 pulled up. I'm going to go ahead and turn the water on to the spigot. Water is on, we have no leaks. So let's open zone 1 for 1 minute and just make sure that everything gets carried out to the beds. Alright, so out here in the beds now, all 8 beds that we have the drip irrigation system running through is working perfectly. So zone 1 is working awesome. So let's check out zone 2. Gonna pull the zone 2 up on our app. We're gonna set that for 1 minute as well to make sure that everything works correctly. And let's open zone 2. Alright guys, well zone 2 is up and running. This is 150 foot of 1/2 inch drip hose. In some areas it looks like it's puddling, in others it isn't, so I think I'm going to have to even the soil out a little bit. Also, I thought we were going to have to run this for about a half an hour too. We might only have to run it for 15 minutes, which is great because it's going to save us on water, but everything for zone 2 is looking awesome. Alright guys, couple more things here. We want to set up a plan and show you how to do that. So I have the app pulled up. We're going to click on drip irrigation 1, which is zone 1. And now that we have that pull up, what we're going to do is hit plan. We're going to hit the plus button up in the top right corner, and that's going to bring up our plan settings. We want this in irrigation mode. You can do irrigation or mist. We do not have mist, so we're going to do irrigation. I want this to be at 11:30 at night because I want it to be when the sun's down and less evaporation is going to happen in the garden. So let's set this for 11:30 p.m. Our duration time is going to be 30 minutes for the garden beds, and I want that to repeat on odd days. Let's confirm that. Save it by hitting the check mark, and then we've had a lot of rain lately and we got about 2 inches of rain yesterday, so the rain delay feature is super awesome. We're going to click on that. We're going to postpone this for 72 hours before our next watering cycle. So our next watering cycle is going to start on September 15th. So now let's go back. We're going to do the same thing to the right side. Hit plan again, hit the arrow. I want this on at a different time because I want the pressure in the hoses to be the same. So we're only going to run zone 1 at one time and zone 2 about 30 minutes later. We're only going to have this one on though for about 15 minutes because it's a bigger size hose. We're also going to do this on odd days. Let's confirm that. Save by hitting the check mark. And we're also going to put this on a 72-hour rain delay. And we're going to go back. And now you see our plans are labeled under both the drip irrigation number 1 and number 2 zones. Alright guys, well there you have it. With the help of RainPoint, our new drip irrigation system out here in the garden is now complete. RainPoint has also been nice enough to give our subscribers a 15% off of the 2-zone Wi-Fi timer now until October 31st. If you go to the description in this video, you will find the link and code for that discount. You can also head on over to rainpointonline.com to find other items such as rain sensors, soil sensors, and other Wi-Fi timers that you can use in your garden. As always, we'd like to thank you guys for tuning into our video. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.